Hello, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone.
How's everyone
Welcome
doing
to
out there?
our live stream. Welcome to our live stream. I am Radlin Mendoza, immigration attorney. This is my law partner and husband, John Gardner, and we are the founders of Gardner and Mendoza Immigration Law, a law firm that we started in the year 2000. So,
right.
so many years ago. And we are here this evening to answer your immigration questions. Just looking, I'm sure that our mic is working. We've had some, sorry, we're a minute late.
Yeah.
For all of our Facebook friends out there, can you let us know if you can hear us? I don't know if anyone is on at the moment, but if for some reason you can't hear us, let us know. And good evening to the folks on TikTok as well. Always great to have everyone here, and our connection is unstable.
Yeah. That's right. So we come here, we do this every Wednesday night from 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock. We come on and we give you updates on immigration law and other areas of law that we think are important for you all to know about. And most importantly, we answer your questions. That's the main thing we like to do. So bring your immigration questions, put them in the comments there. If you're joining us on TikTok, post your questions there and we will get to them. And I apologize if you see me looking over here all the time. That's because I am monitoring our TikTok page over here. And welcome to all of those of you who are joining us on TikTok.
Yes, great to see you guys.
Yeah. And before we go too much further, I want to make sure that I let you know that what we do here is for educational and informational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Okay?
Not legal advice.
Not legal advice. All right.
All right. That we had a joke. Our 10-year-old often listens in while we're doing live stream and while we're making videos, and she says, "Mommy and Daddy, you always say it's not legal advice."
Mhm.
She had a good laugh about that. But anyway, so
Mary
I know
Pusselin is always telling us, yes, we can hear you. So
fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
I made a video on TikTok, and I said that for those who register for the live stream, we are going to get to your questions first.
Yep, and I have that
so
list.
We have a list of the folks who registered. Thank you so much for registering. It allows us to
I got the master list
see
right
what we've got ahead of us. So for those of you guys who registered, go ahead and put your question in the comments. We're gonna get to yours first. Yep. And if you want to be able to type your comments and not have a character restriction like there is on TikTok, then you can come to our Facebook page at Gardner Mendoza Law and type it into the comments, and we'll put it up on the screen. Sometimes it's easier because there is a character restriction on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, if TikTok is how you're joining us, that's cool. We love it. Welcome. It is easier for us, though, to field the questions when they come through the Facebook live stream because, as Radlin said, you can put more detail in the question. We can post it, which allows us to be able to read it over and over again while we're analyzing it and allows other people to see it as well. So it's just a preferred way to do it. So if you're on TikTok and you have the ability to hop over to the Facebook page, we would appreciate you doing that.
Yes, and I'm sharing this as well. Just a couple of housekeeping things here. So, John, do you want to give us an update on what's going on with immigration reform or what's not going on with immigration reform?
Yeah, sure. So while we're waiting for some questions to load up here, people to get on board, I would just give you sort of where we are right now. For those of you who have been following this at all, there have been several iterations of immigration reform that have been proposed and have come up and gotten struck down or just got stuck in the mud. But where we are right now is this, okay? There have been 2 attempts to add some immigration reform into the Build Back Better reconciliation bill that's going through. It's a reconciliation bill, which means that it can bypass a filibuster in the Senate. It's already passed out of the House. It's over in the Senate. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has indicated that he would like to get a vote on it in the Senate sometime before Christmas. And the big thing involving immigration that's important is we are waiting for the ruling from the Senate parliamentarian. Now, she has on 2 prior occasions ruled that the immigration proposals that were in the Build Back Better legislation did not meet the requirements to pass through reconciliation. So she struck them and said that they could not be included in a reconciliation bill. All right. And for those of you who don't know, a reconciliation bill essentially involves spending, is a reconciliation bill. So the question becomes whether or not the provisions have a major impact on the economy, if that's what the primary purpose of them, because that's what reconciliation spending bills are all about, are budgetary things, or whether it's really more of just a policy change that people want to put through and just has some incidental collateral, budgetary impact that occurs from it. Okay. So that's what she is ruling on. Twice she said, oh, the things you put in there aren't really budget related. Those are just immigration policy changes that may have an impact on the economy, but that's not their primary purpose. And so she struck him down. This is the third time at bat for this. It keeps getting watered down a little bit, I will tell you. It started out much more robust, much more ambitious. What we're talking about now is a proposal that would grant parole for those who can show that they were in the United States before January 1st, 2011. And if they can show that, they would be eligible for a 5-year adjustment of status. And then they would be able to extend for another 5 years. There would be no pathway to citizenship with this. And so that's not something that's on the table, but it would allow them to stay in the country, have documentation, be able to get a driver's license, be able to travel back to their home country and still be able to come back into the U.S. So it would be a great thing. I mean, I don't want to downplay. It would be wonderful if it gets through, but it is quite a bit more watered down from where we started. But something is better than nothing.
Perhaps.
Yeah, and Radlin is joking about the perhaps. We talk about this a lot just in our free time together.
Yeah, it's very romantic. That's why we've been married for so long.
What immigration lawyers talk about when they're in their free time?
Immigration stuff.
Yeah, basically.
More immigration stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into a debate about it here or even bore everyone, but there's just there's an internal conflict among immigration advocates about whether you hold out for the home run ball, if you play hardball and say, look, we're swinging for the fences and we want all or nothing, or whether you take what you can get and, come back sometime down the road and try to get more. That's a different debate than what we're doing here. But what we do have right now is this one provision, and stay glued, because the Senate parliamentarian is supposed to be ruling on this like within the coming days. So this is going to be a news story, probably not a front page news story, but if you're in the immigration world, it'll be a story to be following. And then whether or not there will be a vote on the bill before Christmas, that also to me seems awfully ambitious. That's what they're saying. I just don't know if that's actually going to happen, because there's still a lot of holdouts and undecided folks. One other outside option would be to overrule the parliamentarian. The Senate does have a way that they can just disregard what the Senate parliamentarian has to say. But to do that, they need a majority of the votes in the Senate to override the parliamentarian. Right before we came on tonight, at least one Senator, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, he indicated just a few minutes ago that he will not vote. If the parliamentarian rules against it, he is not going to vote to overrule the parliamentarian on this issue. So they would need every senator, all 48 Democrats and the 2 independents that caucus with the Democrats. So basically, that's not going to work either. That's already dead on arrival. So we'll keep you posted on the Senate parliamentarian's ruling.
We'll absolutely keep you posted.
And if she greenlights it, that's a big deal. That's a really big deal. Even though if it's not a path to citizenship, it still would be a lot of relief for a whole lot of folks that we work with every day.
Absolutely.
So
thanks for the update.
Sure.
So for those of you just joining us, we are Gardner Mendoza Immigration Law Firm. I'm Radlin Mendoza. This is John Gardner, my husband and law partner for 20 years, married for 23, right?
Yeah.
And we are joining you from our living room in front of the Christmas tree. We thought it would be festive. And over John's shoulder there
right.
no, we can see it.
Yeah, there you go.
Or maybe it's over our 16 balloons, because our middle daughter just turned 16 yesterday.
Yeah, we've got a lot
So
going on.
We have
here.
a lot going on. Happy birthday to Sammy. Sometimes she plays on our live stream. She hasn't done that in a while. She's very, very focused on school and hitting the books pretty hard. So happy birthday to her. Happy birthday to Sarah Lawler, who is an immigration attorney at our law firm. She is the managing attorney there, and she's amazing and she's great.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Sarah.
Happy birthday, Sarah, again.
And it was also your sister-in-law's birthday, my sister's birthday as well. So many December birthdays. Happy birthday to my big sis. That was a lot of fun and great celebration.
And we do have some questions here, and I apologize. Radlin asked me to be brief with the immigration update, and then I wasn't brief at all. My bad.
It's hard for lawyers to be brief. We just don't know how to do that. We get paid by the letter, I think.
We just want to be thorough is what it really is all about.
Okay. Do you see any of our registrants asking questions? Now, I do realize this is going to be tough to do.
Okay, I do. So as we said at the beginning, and we're going to get to all the questions, don't misunderstand, but those people who registered ahead of time with their questions, we made a deal with them that we're going to get to them
We made
first.
a deal.
Yep. So
it was a verbal agreement.
So Gen CM3 or Gen centimeter cubed says,
Jen.
When
Let's see.
is the best time to get married if you're a J1 teacher?
When is the best time to get married if you are a J1 teacher? Who are we marrying? What's the plan? Is there a waiver required? I don't know. I think that always based. Well, here's what I will say, and I don't really know what this question is kind of based on. I mean, I kind of have an idea, but if you enter the United States, okay, let's say on a J1, on a tourist visa, B1, B2, an F1, a non-immigrant status, and you do something that would tend to go towards, perhaps changing your status, adjusting your status, and you do that within, the first 90 days, then USCIS, when adjudicating that, green card application or whatever down the road, whatever it is, they may say, hey, you did something to change your status, whether it's change of status, adjustment of status, within the first 90 days of your entry. Show us that you did not lie in order to get into the United States just to do this thing that you're doing, whether it's, marrying and doing adjustment of status, or coming in on a B1, B2 and applying for the changing your status to an F1. So, we like to see things happen after the first 90 days, just because, that's the time in question. So hopefully that answers your question, Jen. Thank you for registering first off. And thank you for the question.
All right. So Misho4 here did not register as far as I can tell, but she was very quick out of the gate with her question.
Quick out of the gate. Yeah. That works. Let's go. Quick out of the gate.
So her question is, hello, yesterday I passed my interview for removal of conditions. Is it true that I can apply now for citizenship?
Yes, it is. If you have the time, which I'm sure you do. if you have at least 2 years and 9 months from the time that you got your first green card, then yes, you can apply for U.S. citizenship and married and living with your spouse for the past 3 years. So that's a little bit tricky, right? So you can apply for naturalization 90 days early. And one of the requirements in applying early for citizenship, if you're doing it based on, marriage to a U.S. citizen, is that you have to live with that U.S. citizen and be with that U.S. citizen and be married for 3 years. So, but Radlin, you're telling me I can do it at 2 years and 90 days, 2 years and 9 months. And that is true. You can do it at 2 years and 9 months, despite the requirement that it's 3 years. So it can be conflicting. But if you went to your I-751 interview, then you probably have more than 3 years, because 751s take forever. If you can write in how long it took you to get to your 751 interview, that would be helpful for everyone out there who's also going through that 751 process. So great question.
All right. Yeah. And
answer is probably yes, but you got to do the calculation of the time, of course.
Great. GM Travelers sent a rose. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And also sent a question.
Okay. Well,
Can I apply for...
Wait, did she send the question first or the rose?
She sent the question first, then the rose.
Wow, that's kind of, I like that. Just,
right.
We're gonna answer a rose question.
Yeah,
hopefully we can answer. I mean, I hope that I can answer this question.
Can I apply for a passport as soon as I'm done with my oath taking?
Yes, you can. Oh, good, easy one.
Yeah.
Keep those coming. Let's last week I felt like we couldn't answer some of these questions.
Well, last week we had a couple really very obscure.
Yeah, and I meant to look up 864W, and I did not. It's on a need to know kind of situation here. But yeah, so if you swear in to become a U.S. citizen and you receive your certificate of naturalization on that day, as you do, sign it, go to the passport agency, whether it's the post office, the clerk's office, and go apply for that U.S. passport. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Okay, so we do have somebody who registered. All right.
Yeah.
Pre-registered, and it's user 1740778. I won't go through all the numbers.
Yeah, don't go through all the numbers.
They said, I am prevented from seeing my fiance because of the pandemic. Can we get married online so that we can, and then it shuts off and says, next question, we've been turned down 3 times by USCIS and a travel agency once.
Okay.
So
what I am hearing,
I'm missing
here,
part of the question
yeah,
here. I got cut off.
I think we got it. What I'm hearing here is that you're trying to have your fiance enter the United States on perhaps a tourist visa, getting turned down, probably because of immigrant intent. And now, as a U.S. citizen, right, you can only file for the fiance visa if you're a U.S. citizen. So I'm going to assume you're a U.S. citizen. You want to get married, so you can go ahead and file that petition because you guys just can't see each other. We get that, and we're absolutely understanding what's happening with that because of the pandemic. But you cannot do a strict online marriage, unfortunately. Now we got this question asked maybe a few months ago, and I don't know if it's because we have been practicing law for 20 years. I mean, it's probably because of age, right? But I went after this question, and I went and did research, came back the next week and gave the requirements for, the online marriage, the proxy marriage, whatever. And now I don't know what that second step is, but the answer is you cannot by itself. That will not be enough for immigration for the proxy marriage. I think it was, I just don't remember, but no, answer is no. Gotta be able to see each other in some other place. So one thing is, we have a couple, and they actually met in a third country.
I was just going to say, I do recall that was, I think, last week or the week before that somebody had talked about that.
Yeah, they met in a third country,
and they could not see each other, and neither of them can travel to each other's country, but they were able to meet up in a third country.
They had a wonderful Caribbean vacation, and we're Facebook friends, so I got to see all of the pictures. And so if you guys can do that, that would fulfill that requirement of seeing your fiance. You could do the fiance visa. Maybe you don't want to do the fiance visa. I know it's kind of difficult to find out what the requirements are to get married in another country. So that's something worth looking into for sure. Should I go closer to the mic? Probably should. Yeah.
So Corey's on TikTok here would like to know I-864 RFE question. Do I only send the joint sponsor form or do I include the petitioner as well?
Sorry, can you? It depends on what the RFE is requesting. Did it say what the?
Just says I-864 RFE question.
Yeah.
Do I only send a joint sponsor form or do I include the petitioner as well?
It depends. So the question, I believe, is, we've gotten a request for evidence from USCIS. It's dealing with the 864, the affidavit of support. They're going to be very specific in that RFE as to what they want from you. So I would follow the instructions on the RFE. Sometimes you've already submitted the affidavit of support for one party or the other, and they're asking for more specific information as it pertains to, the primary sponsor or the joint sponsor. So I would 100% just look at that RFE. We even go as far as to kind of do a question and answer. Sometimes the RFEs are long. So we get RFEs too. But if it says USCIS requests 2020 income tax return for joint sponsor, and then we write that question, right? And then we write the answer. Attached is 2020 tax return for the joint sponsor. We're very specific as to what the question is and what we're providing to answer it, just so it's 100% clear and it just doesn't get lost. So I hopefully that is helpful. I'm looking for comments from our live stream because it's very unusual.
I agree 100%.
It is very unusual.
We have never not had comments from the live stream, which makes me think something is not connected correctly.
But that's
whatever.
Okay. We're having a good time with
right.
the other live streams. So.
Well, Pretty Day 8 wants to know where our office is located. Our physical office is located in Virginia Beach, Virginia. But I will tell you that we have clients all over the country and we have clients all over the world. So if you want to come see us in our office, then you'll have to come see us in Virginia Beach.
Except we're not even seeing in-office appointments right now. So Rhea is, let me just click on this here and let's see what she says. Is she able to? Facebook comments are not appearing. Okay.
All right. So
all right.
It's not our imagination. Our assistant has just advised us that the Facebook comments are not showing up. So this would be one night where if you're trying to get through the Facebook, you might want to hop over to TikTok.
No. Well, maybe people just aren't commenting. So Lisa says, good seeing you guys on Sunday night. Which we didn't actually see her. So today we did not do an inspirational immigration story because, we had all the birthday wishes, but, I'm going to throw out the comedian, the Filipino comedian when he's half, Joe Coy, who we saw on Sunday night. And it was such a blast. And we were supposed to meet Lisa out, but we're not even going to tell you guys why we didn't meet up with Lisa.
So we were at the Ted Constant Center down at ODU in Norfolk, where Joe Coy was performing. And if you've never seen him, he is just absolutely hilarious. It's a lot of adult content, so I would not advise taking your children.
We wouldn't advise that. We don't necessarily follow our own advice, but we would not advise that.
Yeah, we would not advise taking it. But if you get a chance to see him, he tours over the country. You should totally check him out. Joe Coy is his name. Jokoy.
Yeah, he's awesome. And he does a lot of content about his Filipino mom, which
and just about
so inappropriate. Anyway, all right. So our comments are not appearing on Facebook. We'll just answer some questions.
But going back,
we have technical issues.
Going back to our location, if you want to reach out to us, we can represent you no matter where you are. That's what I was talking about, was the fact that we do everything through Zoom and emails and DocuSign and so forth. So it's not unusual at all for us to have a client in California or New York or Florida or wherever.
Yep, Denver.
We do it all the time. So if you want to reach out to our office, we'd love to have you as a client. I'm sure we can help you out.
Yeah, and our contact information, if you want to reach out, you can call or text the main number, which is 757-464-9224, or you can send us an email to info@gmlaw.net. Info@gmlaw.net. Do you have Facebook on your phone? Let me
I do
just
not.
see. You don't? Okay. What am I going to do with this guy?
Sorry.
You don't have Facebook on your phone.
I do not.
You must have had a real problem and you had to get rid of it. All right. Let's take the next question.
Okay.
I was going to see if any of the questions.
So Jasmine wants, I can download the app.
No. We are not doing that. Absolutely not.
Okay. Jasmine wants to know, how can I change my I-130 status from green card holder to U.S. citizen?
Oh, okay. I see. So sounds like, is that Jasmine?
Yep.
It sounds like maybe Jasmine has filed for someone, let's say spouse, and she filed for the spouse as a lawful permanent resident, and now she is a U.S. citizen. Congratulations. What you would do if that I-130 has not yet been approved by USCIS, you would send them a letter, and then I would also call the 1-800 contact information, customer care information, in order to let them know as well. If it has already been approved and you're at the National Visa Center, then I would contact the NVC. So it's fairly straightforward and easy to let them know.
All right. And do you know how long it, I can't read that name there, but do you know how long it normally takes to receive the I-797 for a Vawa case?
Receipt notices. I'm going to take just a general guess. To get that first receipt and getting the prima facie determination, it takes a couple of months. I would say at least 60 days to get that, if not longer. Because it's a little bit different than issuing just a straight receipt. It's a little bit more detailed and entailed. All right.
Okay, and Misho4 was happy with the answer. She said, "That's amazing. Thank you."
You're welcome. I guess people just weren't commenting because we are having some comments here.
Okay, I apologize as well. Something is definitely off tonight. There were no questions, and all of a sudden, this thing just popped, and now there's like a big
bunch of questions.
Yes.
So while you're looking,
something happened.
While you're looking at the questions.
Sorry about that, gang.
The questions. I wanted to answer a question that came up, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but the question was, he is a lawful permanent resident. His girlfriend or fiance is in the United States visiting on a B1, B2. The question specifically was, should we get married in the United States or should we get married elsewhere? And I actually tried to do a video. It was late and almost time for bed. And I was like, okay, I can't edit this all together. And the reason is because it's not a quick answer. The answer basically would involve, what are your goals as a couple? What do you want to see happen? Does your fiance have to go back to her country to go to work? Does she have to wrap up things back home? Is she just here on a short temporary visit? What did she tell the port of entry officer? Do you guys, there's just so many questions that we as attorneys have to ask in order to find out, where do you guys want to be? Where do you want to see this case go? Because not every case is the same. A lot of clients, their primary goal is like, we just want to be together. We don't ever want to be separated no matter what. I don't care. I don't care if, it takes 2 years. I just don't want to leave his or her side. Right. But there are some clients who they say, I can't be in the United States without a work permit. You're telling me that a work permit is going to take 6 months. I can't do that. I've got a business back home and I've got my elderly parents to take care of. So there's just a lot of different nuance, and there is no one answer fits all. So the first question I would ask is, what are the goals right now as a lawful permanent resident? Again, that you got to be really careful with doing anything in that first 90 days, and also depends on what she told the port of entry officer. We don't want to come back with a misrepresentation as to what she was doing in the United States and who she was visiting. So there's just a lot going on there. It absolutely warrants a consultation. Our consultations are $245. It's a 1 hour Zoom consult. All initial consults are done by Zoom now. We don't even do people who are local. They don't come into the office. We do all of our initial consultations by Zoom. We just find it to be extremely efficient, and everyone gets the information that they need. So it's $245. If you guys would like to schedule an appointment, again, you can reach out to us via email, info@gmlaw.net, or you can text us or call us 757-464-9224. But to the person that answered that question, it's a very, very fact specific. There's a very, very fact specific answer, and we'd love to help you out with that.
Yeah. And regarding the consultation, it's a good investment. Your immigration case is a really important thing for you. And there are a lot of mistakes that can be made, a lot of pitfalls. And some of them can be, fatal to the case, or some of them you might not discover until you're far down the line. And then you realize you got to go back and start over and do it differently. And now you lost years of accruing time. So, I really urge everyone who has an immigration case that's important, find the money to do a consultation, whether it's with us or some other immigration lawyer that you know and trust, or maybe is in your area and you feel more comfortable seeing them because they're closer to you, whatever. But it is totally worth the investment. All right. So, and really, really, really quickly, Aponacup wanted to know if there was any news, if amnesty will be given. We had addressed this at the very beginning, but for those of you who missed it, no. Amnesty is not something that's on the table. What is currently on the table,
as it was discussed at the beginning of the year. I think some people would consider what's going to happen as some sort of an amnesty,
well,
because it's very broad.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I mean, if when you said amnesty, I thought you were talking more about exactly the original legislation.
She may be. He or she may very well be talking about that.
But what's on the table right now, as we discussed at the very beginning tonight, was basically a 5-year parole that could be extended for another 5 years for folks that can show that they were in the country before January 1st, 2011. Okay? So that's what's
11 years ago. Right?
That's currently what's on the table. So,
right.
And we will keep you posted. We hope to hear something on that very, very soon. All right.
Right. So if this person was here by the effective date, then could be potential amnesty, although we're not calling it that.
And Radlin is right. I'm being technical with the language, and she's right. I mean, maybe in the minds of folks out there, that is amnesty. They, well, hey, if I can be here for 5 years legally and get a driver's license, and I can travel home and travel back, and looks like amnesty to me. Then yes. All right.
Looks and smells like amnesty. But isn't. All right. So there was another question. Oh, okay. I'm going to answer this question, but let's see if there are any other questions from the.
Nope, I haven't seen.
Okay.
We've gotten to the folks that were pre-registered who had questions.
Yay, fantastic. And thank you guys again for pre-registering and asking the questions, because, the questions, and when we can answer them, they not only help you, but they help other people who are listening in who may have the same issue. One thing that came up, we get a lot of questions on TikTok. We have 16,000 followers. So thank you guys for following us on TikTok, and we appreciate it. If you don't follow us, go ahead and follow us. I have over 200 videos on TikTok right now, and they're, I think they're informational. They're kind of goofy and not polished or anything, but they get that information out. But I am always surprised at some of the questions that I get. Like one of the things that I wanted to clear up is that if you're petitioning for your parents, you're a U.S. citizen, and you're petitioning for your parents, this question came up, you do have to file a separate petition for each parent. You can't just file one petition and put the other parent on that petition. It doesn't work that way. So you will have to bite the bullet and pay that I-130 petition fee 2 times, which is $535. I would definitely mail them together so they kind of stay together and stay on the same track. But you have to file 2. And then along with that, if you are a lawful permanent resident and you're filing for your children, again, you have to file separate petitions for each child. So that's a question that we got and that I see a lot of. Another question that I see a lot of is, you're a U.S. citizen, you've got siblings back home. A lot of people don't know that you can actually petition for your married and your unmarried siblings. It doesn't matter if they're married, you can petition for them. It doesn't matter the age. Some people think there's an age cutoff. So these are just a couple of things.
Hold that thought right there, because ESO wanted to know, as a U.S. citizen, how long it takes to petition for a sibling. So ESO, we're addressing that right now.
It is so. Now that I was about to say, the thing about petitioning for your sibling is it takes a really long time. I mean, you're talking 17 to 20 plus years, depending on what country you're from.
Yep.
But do you want to say it, or you go ahead and say it because you like to say it every week?
The visa bulletin.
The visa bulletin. You got it. Yeah, got to just file it.
I tease her about the visa bulletin.
I'll say it.
Everything comes back to the visa bulletin.
Just file the petition, and the years will roll, and before you know it, you're almost 50, or 20 years passes and your siblings are here. So
yeah, that is something that we've said. That's what you were saying that I should say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you set it up, and then I whiffed. That's a
the
whiff. That's
whiff
like
the ball.
That's
Yeah.
that's a what's called a whiff.
We're having tech issues.
Yeah, it's a little quirky night tonight. But yeah,
you don't have the turtleneck on.
But the advice is sound. I mean, look, you should file it. You think, oh, okay, the immigration lawyer says, oh, everything's backed up. That's going to be 17 years before they get here, and you're like, well, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to bother doing that. That's so long down the road. Well, our 18-year-old daughter just is about to finish up her freshman year of college, and it wasn't that long ago that I would never dreamed that she'd be 18. So the time will go by faster than you think.
Whether you wanted to or not.
Whether you wanted
to, obviously. But.
So our advice to people is always the same. File it and then get the clock ticking. The time's going to come up whether you filed it or not. And when it comes up, if you did file it, then you're ready to go.
Do you want to do the deli counter analogy? But we're good, right? Okay.
I don't even think people go to deli counters anymore.
Just you. John's always making us eat luncheon meat.
That's right.
Is that what it's called? Lunch meat.
That's right. So
no sandwiches. Yeah.
So for our 50 and older crowd out there listening, it's like being at a deli. You get the number. Get the number. And then you just shop and wait for them to call your number.
Well, if you've ever gone to a theme park, you've ever gone to Disney or Busch Gardens or whatever, and then you look at the line like, oh, it's too long. I'm not going to get in that line. And then you go somewhere else and you get back to the line and it's twice as long, right? That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. So get in line by filing that petition. And I know week in and week out, we are so the DMV, Lakeisha, hello, Lakeisha says the DMV. Exactly. We're so annoying about this, but guys, you don't know how many times, I'll be on a consultation. It was just last week it was just last week. I'm talking to this U.S. citizen, and he says, yeah, I want a petition for my sister. And then I'm, I always want to know, well, when did you become a U.S. citizen? After, they find out it's going to take 16, like, wow, are you serious? 16 years? 16 years. Wow. She's going to be like so old. She's going to be 40. That's too old. I can't even imagine. Okay. It's too late for her to do anything with her life. She's going to be 40 already. She's 24, 16. No, we can't do that. And then I always do the follow-up just out of my curiosity. Well, when did you become a US citizen? Oh, I became a US citizen in 2010. That was the most recent year. Oh, okay. So you've been a US citizen for 11 years. Got it. So that time could have been ticking the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, again, many times people think, well, my sibling is a different situation. They don't have, they have no, they don't want to come to the United States. They're in a different situation. They have no desire to be here. But you know, when you petition for your parents, okay, as a US citizen, you petition for your parents and your parents immigrate, right? And then your parents petition for as lawful permanent residents, they go ahead and then petition for their unmarried children, and then your other siblings immigrate. You're left, right? You're left in India, you're left in the Philippines, you're by yourself now. You're married, and gosh, I miss my family. I miss my parents. My parents are getting elderly. I want to be in the United States to be with them. But for that reason, so it does take a little bit of forward thinking. I mean, it does. But that's just an example. We see this every single week, guys. Every single week, the regret of not filing once they became a U.S. citizen every single week. So we're here. The only reason we're here is so you guys don't make that same mistake. Just file and be merry.
Yes.
Sorry, that was a tirade.
Well, I mean, we see it all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we see the pitfalls and the traps, whether it's somebody that had a criminal conviction that was something really minor, and now they're totally out of luck and there's nothing we can do to help them.
Yeah.
And when I review the record as a criminal defense lawyer, I think, oh, this could have been avoided so easily if the criminal defense lawyer at the time had known that there was an immigration consequence. So, or when we have clients that come in, like Radlin just talked about, where, they realize that they could have filed something, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And had all that time accruing, and they're just doing it now and they're kicking themselves. So, just take the time, look into it, find an attorney, pay the consultation fee, and, make a good decision.
And we're attorneys too. So.
Of course.
Okay. But okay, you go with the question, and I have another story.
Pretty Day 8 wants to know if you know how many months it takes to process an EB3.
It depends on the country. That's based on the visa bulletin and the priority date of when you filed that perm. So depends on the country. So Pretty Day 8, get back to us with the country. And I mean, right now it's current for some countries: India, China, and maybe Mexico. No, I think India and China are the ones that are severely backlogged right now in the EB3 category. So everything else is current. And then I'm just going by memory of the visa bulletin. But you have to take into account the processing of the labor certifications, last perm, the I-140. I mean, there are many, many factors as to how long things are taking. And for those who filed in, that big rush, it was taking a long time when EB3s moved forward and everybody went from EB2 to EB3. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself and too much into the weeds. Yeah,
we're talking about waiting. And here's the thing. We get a lot of questions every week about how long does this take? What's the best service center to go to? How long is it going to take for X to come? And the problem is, those are really hard questions to answer because there are just so many things that go into it. Most of them we don't have any control over when we're working on a case. And so it's hard to know for sure and to answer those questions. So we just have to give ballparks. But here's another one. She says, I'm waiting on an interview date for my husband's case. It's about to be a year. This is from B-Man. So I don't know. She's getting concerned.
we don't know. Like, that's the big question right now, and that waiting on the interview for people who have been documentarily qualified, DQ'd. It's hard to know. We are seeing interviews right now happening for K1s, which is very exciting. We have a couple of K1s that just arrived into the United States after filing right before the pandemic. And what is it? It's 2022. Pandemic was what? February 2020. So 2 years, right?
February 2020.
Yeah, and it's long, and not just K1s, but immigrant visas to get lawful permanent residency for a family member. Those are taking a really long time. I mean, I did interview prep with someone today, and her circumstances have changed a little bit, and it's just, I don't know. It just took so long, and good or bad, it has taken so long, and we don't know when these interviews are going to come up. They're moving though. We see them moving, but we can't tell you when they're going to come up.
All right, let's see.
Sorry. John and I, we have completely smashed ourselves into a corner here just so you can get the Christmas tree background. It is crammed. I mean,
it's a nice tree.
It's a great tree. And our dogs.
And Amit J says aloha from Hawaii. That's very cool.
Aloha, hello. Guys, and thank you for your gifts on TikTok. We don't do anything with they're sitting in the TikTok account or whatever, but maybe we'll cash those in, however it is that you cash in, and a couple of dollars, and frame them as our TikTok money. But the cool thing is when we end a TikTok live, it tells us that, what we've been gifted, and flowers and whatever, and roses. And it always says, you have received more gifts than 93% of the people who go live on TikTok. So thank you.
Yeah,
that's awesome. All the people on TikTok, we receive more gifts than 93% of all the people on TikTok. So that's an accomplishment.
Absolutely.
I mean, cool.
So Queenie here, I'm trying to put these two together. The first part said, but they have tourist visa. Then the second part says, I have a friend and her visa already expired, and her daughter and her mother want to visit here. And so I'm not sure what the tourist visa, who has the tourist visa?
I think I got this. I feel like I got this question, and I may have answered it just through text, but
okay,
well, I'm not sure if it's the same person, but if it is, in order to come to the United States, you need to have a valid visa, not expired, issued to you, right, at the consulate or embassy, or you have to be from a country where visas are waived, ESTA countries. So you either one or the other. Good?
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so Adi William wants to know, it's confusing, but I think I understand what he's, what do you do? I think he's saying, if you don't have a birth certificate to petition for your mother as a U.S. citizen. So I guess he's a citizen, wants to petition for his mother, but they're missing a birth certificate.
Missing whose birth certificate?
I don't know.
Okay, well, I think it's a bigger problem if he's missing his birth certificate, because that's going to establish that, when he was born, the mom on the birth certificate was his mom and has his mom's name on it. Okay, but there are ways, if there's no birth certificate. I mean, if it was destroyed, or, I mean, if either one's birth certificate is missing, but you can do an affidavit of birth. You can also submit secondary evidence is something like an affidavit of birth, where someone who is present at your birth, I believe you need two, will write an affidavit stating that they were present at your birth. So, that is kind of hard to get that if there are, depending on how old you are. So that's one. I would also submit a baptismal certificate if you were baptized, and other secondary evidence around the time that you were a baby that this is your mom. Perhaps if you got immunized and your mom's name is on the records at the pediatrician's office, the doctor's office. So if it's mom who's missing the birth certificate, then same kind of documents that you would need for mom and for you. But for mom, if depending on how old she is, maybe they didn't have birth certificates, or there was a fire or a flood, or we see this and everything was destroyed, then they can also issue an affidavit of no birth certificate, and that's also helpful. So hopefully that answered the question.
All right, let us know if that answers your question. And let's see. Mesho 4, who you talked to earlier, she'd wanted to know if she could apply for citizenship after having the conditions removed.
Yes.
Said, thank you very much. She said, yes, she's been here for 4 years.
Okay, awesome.
So she should be good to go.
Yeah, and for those who are here on the 751, right, who not here on the 751, who have a 2-year lawful permanent resident card, and you are in the process and waiting to have those conditions removed on your lawful permanent residency, even if that I-751 has not been approved, you haven't gone to an interview, they haven't approved it and granted you your 10-year green card, you can still apply for U.S. citizenship while that 751 is pending. So some people don't know that. Many people don't know that. Many people that think that doesn't make any sense, because it doesn't, not really, but you can do that. So you can save a lot of time by filing for citizenship when you're supposed to file for citizenship and not waiting for the 751 to be approved.
Okay, cool. And Mia Gardner says, hi, guys. Hi, Mia.
Oh, it's our child. Shout out to our daughter who just finished a big paper.
Oh, that's awesome.
Miss that girl.
Hi, Mia.
It's so weird to not have one of your children under your roof. And
okay.
It's strange being 4.
And I apologize again because of these tech issues. We had nothing for a while, and then boom, like 10, all just
10 questions popped up.
Yeah, something is. Okay, so Jay Got Kicks 1992 wants to know, can my wife work here in the U.S. after the I-29F marriage visa is approved?
So the I-129F is a fiance visa petition. And once the fiance visa petition is approved, wife is still presumably in her country waiting for an interview. And maybe the question is, when she comes into the United States, once she is granted the fiance visa, can she work at that point? The answer is no. She has to, once she comes in, you guys have to get married within the first 90 days of her entering the United States. Then you have to go through a whole other.
This is a joke in our family.
It's a word that we made up, but I think everyone says "nother." Anyway, a whole other process where you have to file the green card application with the affidavit of support, with the work permit application, the employment authorization application, and permission to travel abroad. So short answer, when she comes in, no, she will not be allowed to work. This is one of the critical problems with the K-1 and entering on a K-1, is that you cannot work and you've got to wait to get that EAD, employment authorization card, to start working. And it drives people crazy to enter the United States and think, oh my gosh, okay, I'm here, let's get married and file this other paperwork. When can I apply for a job? Oh, the answer is no. You have to wait for that work permit. And that is taking now 6+ months to be issued.
All right. And I'll be Uncog says, I think my question was skipped. I apologize for that. I haven't seen it. If you could, I just went back up looking for it again and didn't see it. So maybe it didn't come through. If you can post it again, then we will
come to at Gardner Mendoza Law on Facebook. Pop
That's
it into
right.
the comments. We have 4 more minutes.
And Pretty Day 8 says, thank you so much for the information.
You're very welcome.
And we're getting a hello from San Francisco.
All right. It's been a long time since we've been there.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Ab Savoy says, hi, Mia's parents. Cute.
Our children, we have 3 daughters, 18, 16, and 10. It's
okay,
amazing.
oh, here's the question.
Okay, let's get to the question.
We
don't like to skip questions.
If my spouse is in the U.S., if spouse in U.S., I-130 approved, but petitioner is still waiting for citizenship, file AOS?
Well, it depends. It depends on, it depends on how long the spouse has been here. Is the spouse still in status? It's current right now on the visa bulletin. So that's a really good question, but the answer lies with how long has your spouse been here? Is the spouse still in status? All those things that we talked about before regarding whether we should file adjustment of status or not. So who was that? Whoever that was, I really, really encourage you to make an appointment with us. As we were mentioning earlier, our consultation fee is $245, and you will get all of the answers. You will know exactly what to do, because I'm going to ask you, what are the circumstances surrounding your spouse's entry into the United States? How long have they been here? What's the plan? And we'll figure it out. So, well worth it, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely.
So please make an appointment, info@gmlaw.net. You can reach out to us, or you can give us a call, 757-464-9224, and we will take care of you. All right, let's see here if we have any other questions. You can look for some questions.
Yeah, we got a question here, and I don't know if you want to get into it tonight. We get this at least once a week.
Okay, before I know exactly what the question is that you're going to ask. And you know what? Yeah, I know what the question is. But
you know what it is.
I'm going to...
It's the most frequently asked question that we have.
Frequently asked. FAQ.
Yep.
What is it?
It's our number one.
This is Falling Angel for You from YouTube. Hello and welcome. So when you got here without inspection, you submitted the I-130. How long does it normally take to get approved? And that is the 601A takes how long? Please and thank you. You are very welcome, and thank you for such a great question, Falling Angel for you. So I'm going to just say that we are telling people to talk to us about the 601A, which is the provisional waiver, also known as the stateside waiver, that it's a couple of years, at least. Before pandemic, I said 18 months. Now we're saying 2 years plus. So to answer your first question, I-130 petition, how long does it take? So it depends on where it goes, what service center it goes to. Nebraska is really fast, and sometimes it's not fast. If it goes to Texas or if it goes to California, those take really long because of their processing times are longer. Once that I-130 petition gets approved, you go to the National Visa Center, you pay your fee bills, and then you go ahead and file your 601A waiver. That's taking 8 plus 9, 10, 11, 12 months to get approved. And then once that's approved, you go back to the National Visa Center, upload all of your documents, your affidavit of support and taxes and all that stuff, and then wait for an interview. So that's in a nutshell. Whew.
Mm-hmm. All right,
hopefully that answers your question.
Good question. Thank you.
Yeah, great question. Okay.
So
it's 9. It's 9 o'clock. Dog's barking.
Equinox 576.
I feel like Equinox 576 asked this question before. Oh, here comes our time.
The question has come to us tonight in a slightly different form.
Okay. Equinox 576. Let's do this.
Equinox 576 wants to know, is it okay to marry my fiance here in the U.S. or outside the U.S.? She's here now as a tourist.
I answered Equinox's question. I answered your question, buddy. Did he hear me? He's the one that I made the video for. Now I remember. I answered that question. I answered that question. It is in minute, let's see, 8:50, probably 8:50. It is minute 8:50. So Equinox, please come to our Facebook page at Gardner Mendoza Law. I went into detail about your very question because it's a really good question. So if you don't mind coming over Facebook, it's just like a couple of clicks of your finger and voila, you're there. Watch the video. Long story short, it depends. Maybe, maybe not. And look, the dogs even know.
We
it's
get a
past 9
version of
o'clock.
that question every week. It deals with fiance visas
Yeah.
and going there to marry them, or can the fiance come here as a
Spouse is
tourist?
here. Yeah.
And once
so
they get here, then can we just get married? And this is really, really tricky,
Yeah.
dangerous. Danger Will Robinson situation. So if you are getting a fiance visa or doing anything surrounding that, call us and make an appointment. That's really the best.
I
advice
mean,
I can give.
I advise Equinox to give us a call as well.
Yeah, okay, because those are tricky cases. You may not think so. They really are.
But Equinox, hopefully you can watch that video. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, I started to answer your question with a video a couple of nights ago because it's a really good question. But there's just so much involved with it that I couldn't put it in.
Okay, our
1 minute.
time.
Our timekeeper is here.
Our timekeeper
Here's
is
our
here.
youngest daughter, Ray. She doesn't like it when we take time away from her to
That's
do
right.
Facebook Live because she's spoiled little brat. No, she's not a brat, but she is spoiled.
She comes to tell us when it's been an hour. It has been an hour. Our time is up. We have a couple questions lingering here from Mika Suarez and Eileen De La Reyes. Reach out to us. Come back next week. We'll be here again at 8 o'clock next Wednesday, and get here early and get your question posted. We'll get to it.
Or register.
Or
When you
pre-register.
register, you
and
will
we'll
get
to
your
it.
question answered
And
first.
or you can just reach out to us, info@gmlaw.net, or call us 757-464-9224. All righty.
Thank you guys all for all of your amazing questions. We got to give it 2 thumbs up. Ray, don't you have something to say? Come in here.
I just want to remind everyone this is not legal advice.
Thanks.
2 thumbs up, guys.
Thank
All right,
you so
everybody.
much.
We will see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
All right, ending the broadcast. Take
Have a
care,
great
guys.
night.
2 thumbs up. Bye.